A lot to chemicals, mama, I'm sure to handle now, Miss Around.
Checking here recently.
Screening.
Yeah,
test.
not like in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And so because people didn't realize they had the gene. And I forget the odds. You guys can look at the odds. When the mother and the father have
1 in 4.
what, you know, the odds of what the CF, but nobody knew
What it was.
time ago. They would just die of kids would just die of lung complications or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
They didn't even know that they had CF.
Yeah.
And so at least now, with this kind of stuff, being aware and it's got that screening is huge.
Yeah.
You know?
So Kalydeco is a gene therapy drug. So cystic fibrosis doesn't occur just from one type of gene mutation. There are thousands of different gene mutations that cause cystic fibrosis, and I have G551D, which is one of them, and it's a more common mutation, and so Kalydeco targets that mutation and helps that function more normal. It still doesn't function completely normal, but it's a lot more normal than even close to what I had before. So there's the Kalydeco. They just came out with another one called Orkambi, which targets the delta F508, which 50% of CFers have that gene. The only thing is you have to have 2 of those genes to be prescribed that medicine, because that's how they did the FDA trials, when you had 2 of those genes. So, I mean, I have one of the delta F508 genes, but I don't have 2. So I can't take that one yet, but they have tons of other ones, well not tons I guess, but they have another one that's in phase 3 trials right now targeting people who only have the one delta F508 gene.
So what has this drug done for you?
It's definitely helped me stabilize for sure. I mean, before, right now I usually range my baseline of lung function to 60 to 65, kind of just depends. And before that, I was baselining at like 55%, and so I've been actually able to improve my numbers and stay stable and not go down. So that's been my biggest thing.
So other than the drug therapy, what other kind of treatments do you go through?
I do treatments morning and night. I do nebulized inhalers. I do 3 different things. I do the albuterol, pulmozyme, and hypersale. And then right now I'm not having to do an inhaled antibiotic because I'm actually no longer culturing Pseudomonas since I started Kalydeco. So the past 2.5 years I haven't cultured it. And before that I cultured it my entire life. So I still do have MRSA, I still culture for that, but which that one's a little bit more difficult, so I probably won't get rid of that one. But so I don't have to take any inhaled antibiotics anymore, but I used to have to do that. And then I do my vest physiotherapy morning and night also.
Okay. What's the best physiotherapy?
So the vest is basically it just shakes your mucus up, and so that way you're able to cough it out.
Okay.
So I do that for half an hour morning and night, and more if needed.
So the mucus in her lungs doesn't break apart easily like we
Very
do.
thick, right?
So that's why she gets the problems in her lungs. It settles and she gets infections in there. So, but explain to them also how often you were going to Stanford.
Yeah, I mean before I started Kalydeco, I was going to Stanford probably every 6 months to. I think 6 months is pretty much my thing then.
You actually had a 4-month stint one time.
Did.
What would they do for you down there?
So when I go into Stanford for a tune-up is what we call it. We get IV therapy, IV antibiotics, and we do treatments pretty much around the clock every 4 hours.
Treatments consist of somebody come in and they pat her
on the back with the
her back, they pat her
cup.
sides,
or the cups,
they do,
which is the best.
Yeah.
Personally, I like that.
And if she has a problem like on this side, they'll turn her on her side and work that area, trying to break up the congestion, basically.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, before then I was going in every 6 months, like right before, or like right when I started it, I had just had to go into the hospital and get a little chest tube because I had such a bad infection and fluid in my outer walls and stuff like that. And then, but since then, right now it has been almost a year. It'll be October. It'll be my year mark. I'm not going into the hospital.
Wow. And then how much do you weigh?
I weigh what? Oh yeah. So it's also helped me put on a lot of weight. Before I started Cystic, I was probably like 100 pounds. So now I weigh steady at 115. I've been able to gain 15 pounds, which is really. I have a G tube.
Okay.
So I have a feeding tube. I got that right before I started Cystic because couldn't gain any weight no matter what I did. So I got this. I haven't used it in like a year and a half.
Okay.
So I've been able to maintain my weight off by myself.
So you take enzymes with every meal?
I do. I still take enzymes with every meal. Before I started Cystic, I used to take double what I take now though. So I've been able to lower my enzymes and maintain my weight since I've been on this too. So
and the weight is important for her lung function.
Yeah, they've correlated your BMI with your lung function. The higher BMI they like to see, so that way you're able to maintain your lung function better. It's been like a scientific study that they've done before.
If it's considered lucky, but she has, if you notice, she doesn't have an extended stomach, or what's some of the other...
Yeah, a lot of people get into play like liver issues just from taking too much medication, and CF can affect the liver. All the different mucous membranes in your liver too. So a lot of people get early onset liver and liver disease. And a lot of people will get, I have like clubbing of my fingers. You can kind of see, like they're not supposed to be like that.
Poor oxygen.
Super clubbed. Yeah. So that's like a big. Oh, their fingers are clubbed. They probably like. Yeah. A very, very common sign. And a lot of people have like their rib cages are a lot wider at the bottom. Mine aren't like that yet, so good on that one. But yeah, I mean, I used to take liver pills just to help stabilize my liver numbers, but got to go off that one as well. Us breathing normal is like everybody running all the time. Like our bodies are always burning that many calories, which is another reason why it's been so hard to gain weight and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know what the range would be for you to breathe through a straw, but that would be like how she's breathing normally. Yeah. And you could see when how tough it is. You're like, whoa, in just 1 minute, you know. And so it's a good little thing that you guys might want to do.
Yeah, we'll definitely check that out.
And do that. We did it last year for everybody so that they could kind of feel it.
I'm trying to think of all the medications. Oh my gosh, there's so many.
So someone with cystic fibrosis, what kind of enzymes do you have to take to help digest food, and what can't you digest?
Everything. I can't digest anything. So I take 6 pills, little capsules with everything, meals and snacks, everything. Oh, and then also hold on, I gotta reach in my shirt. Pardon me, camera. I'm a diabetic, also. Forgot about that. So I have an insulin pump, and I got that going on down here.
So this diabetes that you have is related to cystic fibrosis?
It is cystic fibrosis related diabetes. You might hear some say CFRD, that's what they're referring to. And so I've been diagnosed with that for about 16, 17 years, right around there. But I've only had the pump 2 years.
Okay. So now you're not only trying to manage your cystic fibrosis, but now you're trying to manage your diabetes as well.
Correct, and it's really difficult because, of course, with diabetes, if you're sick or have an infection, it's going to increase your blood sugars, and so it's really difficult to manage. It's like a whole separate disease, really, and so you're like trying to manage these two separate diseases.
How long will I love you? As long as stars are above you, and longer if I can. How long will I need you? As long as the seasons need to follow their plan. How long will I be with you? As long as the sea is bound to wash upon the sand. How long will I want you? As long as you want me to, and longer by far. How long will I hold you? As long as your father told you, as long as you can. How long will I give to you? As long as I live through you. However long you say. How long will I love you? As long